Hello, welcome Whale fam. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I am here with the multi-talented artist Lucclop. He plays with, how are you? He plays with illustration, photography, 3D, and has a very sci-fi heavy and pop culture influences. And I'm really excited to get to know him today.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me on. And if anybody did turn up on Monday, sorry for the mix-up. My fault. Time zones.
Oh no, it's like the time zone thing. It's like such a common occurrence. It's totally fine. No worries.
I was just getting the kids in ready for bed.
Yeah, and daylight savings.
Yeah.
And daylight savings is super confusing. So that was the mix-up there. But thank you everybody for coming back for this. And so let's get to it. So you joined Twitter in October 2020, and you started creating your own NFTs and also collecting around the same time. So how were you introduced to the crypto art space?
A friend mentioned it actually. Obviously, I've been doing art for a long time, but a friend of mine mentioned it that I should look into it, and obviously, as soon as you get your head into it, it's just so huge. But think you wouldn't think it's just 22 weeks. I think the first thing I probably saw was Crypto Bull, the Bitcoin Bull, Trevor Jones, Punks, obviously Crypto Cubes, and then once your head's in there, probably following 2,000 people now, just constantly information, looking at people's art, sharing people's art, chatting. It's such a big space, and I think that's one of the main things about it, really, compared to publishing your art and selling it in a shop or a gallery. You're just so connected. It's such a big audience here, and you're getting feedback that you just wouldn't get anywhere else. You can talk to collector, talk to other artists, and it's just so accessible. So yeah, as soon as I put a foot through the door, I was just sucked into the whole thing, and it's so much has happened in such a short period of time.
Yeah, it's definitely a wormhole, this space, and it's like you come into it with questions, and then the answers lead you to even more questions once you get into it.
I feel like I'm learning so much all the time, finding my feet. I've made loads of mistakes, and if anybody ever asks a question, I'd rather they didn't make my mistake. Biggest one's always gas. To things, to buy things, and I think probably over the first couple of months, I've certainly spent a lot more on gas than I've made in any sales. But you live and you learn, and if anybody ever wanted some tips on to not make those mistakes, then anyone can get in touch.
Yeah, and we can. One of my questions for you, I guess we could get into that question now, since you brought it up, is what are some things that you wish you knew before you started minting NFTs, and what would you tell your past self or another budding artist that you wish you knew at the time?
Yeah, I think gas is a big one. I think everybody needs to get familiar with that, and the fact that Ethereum's obviously so volatile, and the gas price goes with it. It goes all over the place. So I think it's there's lots of useful resources so that you can see when the gas prices are lower. I did things like not knowing that an auction would be twice the cost, and things like that. So sort of pick it up as you go along. But I think also another big thing for me was minting loads of work and really not getting to build an audience, and almost for me it's good to test it and get a feeler out there and share your work and show people how active you are, rather than just go straight in and mint a few pieces and expect people to stumble across it, because I don't think people, the platforms are so big, I don't think people can sit and browse them really. I think it's really important to sort of engage and sort of show your portfolio online, and not necessarily just jump in and mint it all, just to get that feedback and see how things are going. I think a lot of people come into the space thinking, you've got to have a fixed style, and you've got that on the screen, and you can see I certainly haven't. I experiment. I always try to improve, and I think that your mood changes day by day, and your inspiration
Absolutely.
it changes. And I do work a lot in freehand, and I sort of just go with the flow. And I think some people worry about having a consistent style, or arriving into this space with a consistent style and a brand that everybody can see. Well, that is such and such's work, because you can just see it a mile off. It's their work. But it's funny. We had a sort of a bit of a post about this, and I think a lot of people were sort of on board with this thought that if you look at a lot of artists, they grow, and they grow quite openly and publicly. When you look at their portfolios, it's not everybody turns up with a fixed product and a fixed set of rules that they work to. I'm just enjoying it, and things will change. And I hope, just looking at that slide, that top left to bottom right, I evolve week by week and try and push myself, and I do try different things, but I enjoy trying different things.
I mean, I feel like that's like a big part of being an artist, is not being afraid to play with different mediums. And there is this pressure that you have to have a specific way or a specific style. But I feel like most of the artists that I talk to, even if they do have a specific style, it's only one of the things that they're showing to the world. You know, they have like this whole other world that they haven't shared yet for whatever reason. And, you know, maybe the thing that they're presenting is just their favorite medium or their favorite style to work in. But I think it's really freeing and really validating for other artists to see more artists like you that are playing with different things and showing that it's okay to do that. You can still be seen in doing that. And
definitely. I definitely do it for the pleasure, and I think I do have a full-time job. I've got to pay the bills. I think everybody could probably see I'm not making millions from art at the moment. So I do work, and in my day job I work under quite strict constraints. I work 3D models. It's all quite technical, and I think that's very much a reason why I keep this separate. And it's something that's more personal, and it's quite different. It's intentionally different, and that's why I play around. And I find sort of my head to a pen. It's much more fluid than working for me. And I know a lot of people will work differently with different tools, but that's why I do work with a pencil. It's on an iPad Pro now, but yeah, I do like the fluidity of just hand drawing, really. So that's why everything you see is there. But then I do mix in a little bit of 3D modeling, photography. These are all the sort of things that I studied.
So like you've done, it says week 22 here. So you've been releasing one NFT a week for the last 22 weeks?
Yeah, I don't. It might have been 2 1 week and then a 2 week gap, but yeah, roughly. I guess if you look at my average output, it's one a week, and yeah, so
that's a lot.
And I think in amongst everything else, you know, we've had 6 months of homeschooling with the kids, you know, with lockdown, and obviously trying to keep a day job going as well. So yeah, this is me, and it's really good for my headspace to. I just love to sit and draw, and it's the way I've always been. I was like that when I was younger as well, and it's just really good for me to get my head into. You know, it's that release, and I sort of get in the zone. So a lot of this is me in the evening after everything, and start to everything comes out of my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely hard to balance work and find time for your art, especially with a family, especially with young kids. So it's really inspiring to see that it's possible to make time for it. I know there's a lot of parents out there and artists that are, you know, trying to do the same thing and struggling to make time for it. But it's just one of those things, you got to just do it, as they say, but easier said than done.
Yeah, definitely. And like I say, I do it, everything. A lot of people have had it hard, and I had it hard for the last year, and definitely entering such a a positive community. You get so much support and nice feedback and constructive feedback. It's been fantastic, like a really good distraction as well. It's so inspiring, sort of being part of the NFT community and talking to people and sharing your art and getting that positive feedback. It's so uplifting.
I was going to show some more of your work, but as we were talking, you'd mentioned your family and that you actually you work with your kids a lot on some of these pieces. So if you wanted to talk about that, and I'll pull up the larger versions of these pieces here, but this is like the collection.
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, obviously I love playing with the kids, and as I mentioned, homeschool, and we've any lesson that I did with them was an art lesson, because that we just really enjoy creating together, and but also just the kids in general. There's just so much positivity. They're not shy or timid. They can make fun out of just the smallest things, and I just love that their view of the world, and that's why I sort of create quite playful art. I guess they're all characters, and they're all sort of set in a picture of life, or obviously you see with the explorer there, the child looking through through books and using their imagination, going off in the the spaceship and things like that. So yeah, it's all sort of that's
I love this one.
Going and sort of the hopeful images in my mind, really, and it's quite a nice escape. And I think I read stories to the kids, and it's always just so visual, and you see their eyes light up, and it's all very sort of visual to them. And I think it's obviously taking that inspiration from children, but also looking back at my childhood, and you see I did a series of drawing sweets, basically. There's a giant gummy bear and flying saucers, and it's on the it's on foundation. Left one, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Sorry, excuse my internet, everybody. It's a little slow.
So yeah, that was just again a series of sort of playful artworks, but yeah, just looking at how exciting something as simple as a gummy bear can be through a child's eyes, and obviously that friendship there, and just everything sort of big and exciting through a child's eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I remember as a kid, just if you were gonna offer me candy, I was extremely excited, and I would love to have hugged a giant gummy bear like that. It kind of makes me think of that scene in Willy Wonka when they go into that room, and one of the kids is like tearing through a giant gummy bear. Like, that is my childhood dream still.
Yeah, watched that last weekend, so yeah, I remember it.
The original one, right? The one from the 70s. Oh, the one with the one. I still haven't seen that one yet. I think I should give it a chance, because I do like Tim Burton and Johnny Depp, but I'm kind of a purist. I grew up with the first one, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch it, but I feel like I should just view it as like a totally separate thing. Yeah. So I was curious, like, in the last, well, it doesn't have to be the pieces here, and of course, if you are able to pull it up on your screen, you can. But I was curious, what has been the most challenging yet rewarding piece or project that you've worked on? And it doesn't have to be an NFT or anything like that.
I think the last work that I did in the Encounter series, which was on Known Origin, actually it's the one that you used on the flyer, with the diver. That was the most challenging artwork that I worked on, in terms of, clearly, hopefully you see there's a lot of work in that one. And
it took me a while to realize that it was digital.
Yeah. So again, that's sort of a mixture. It's hand drawing plus a photograph plus 3D model, and then lots and lots of Photoshop work, blending, and trying to look to obviously merge those three mediums into looking like a coherent artwork. And I think what was really touching for me is that was a 3 edition, and it I think the first 2 editions sold within like 12 minutes, and then the other one was picked up later that day. So, for me, people liking the work and obviously going out and picking it up that quickly, that was meant a lot. So I think that one sort of stands out, and it was the most recent artwork as well. So
I love this one. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, finish what you were saying.
Hopefully that in the timeline that's hopefully showing some progression as well, going back from the first pieces and just pushing myself. I don't use any sort of back catalogue. Everything is just now and sort of follows the moment, really.
That's really cool. And you had mentioned to me when we were talking earlier that all but one of these pieces have been sold, or all but one has an owner, or has that changed since we spoke last?
There is one that
one orphan.
Yes, everything else has been picked up. So yeah, just really lucky and really grateful that people have been interested in my work and wanted to take it home. Really, that's what more could you want? It's great.
Yeah, I mean I was gonna say that's like extremely good odds, and especially for someone that's just stepping in. Do you know could you share like what steps you took to like help your work stand out, or was there something that you think you did differently aside from the work just being standing on its own and being very beautiful?
Oh, thanks. I think obviously I've not. I know 22 sounds a lot over 22 weeks, but I think I haven't gone too quickly. Do you know what I mean? I haven't been minting 2 things a day, and but also I always share the story. I'm very you showing some of the making of slides earlier, and I always sort of share the step by step. Just because I see my sort of Twitter page as a blog, and just when I'm working on something, I'll just take a quick photo and this is what I'm up to today. And I think people, I get positive feedback anyway, saying that they're really interested to see how it all comes together. And I guess then if somebody picks it up, it was nice to see how I did it. But I think the other thing, I'm just really active on Twitter, but not as a marketing strategy as such, but I just really enjoy it and getting to know people and talking to collectors and other artists. And of course it helps because you need to get eyes on your work at the end of the day. Like I said earlier, I don't think people do just sit and scroll. Maybe they do, but there's so much work on Rarible and places like that. It's really hard to find work by browsing. I think you need to get to know the artist on Twitter and really get to know them. But I also think that's a great thing. Again, that's something that you don't really achieve outside of this space, to actually be able to talk to the person that created that artwork and have a chat to them, find out their story. It's great.
I mean, prior to NFTs, if you wanted to buy art online, you might peruse, you might find somebody on Instagram or on maybe Etsy or something like that. But you just buy the thing, and I can't think of a relationship I've developed with people I've bought stuff on Etsy with. There's something different about, just inherently different about this. I think you're also investing a lot when you buy an NFT for the most part, and that's also really good advice to share your process on social media. That really helps create a connection with people, and it's also, yeah, just showing your process too is, I think it's kind of like, you know, you get to like see the magic behind it. It's not like such a mystery. And, you know, if you were only sharing when you have something ready to buy, it doesn't really feel good, like as a viewer or even as an artist too. Like, I don't feel good if I'm just shilling my work and not, you know, like nobody wants to be just shilled to mercilessly.
Yeah, I think it's to show how it was crafted, really, and obviously it feels quite personal to see how it came together. You know, almost see my hand doing the work. But it's as I was saying earlier about just minting things cold, really, and not getting any feedback. If I'm sharing sort of the making of, and I can then almost gauge if people are liking how it's going or not. And obviously, if it wasn't looking good, then don't mint it, because of all the costs associated with minting things.
Yeah, backtracking a little bit when you were talking earlier, I'm not sure why things aren't loading. I guess Raribles being a little weird. But from what you were saying earlier, like if you create a piece, it's, as an artist, just to protect yourself from spending money on gas, like in minting, it would make sense to, you know, get a response on social media first and see if there's actually interested buyers, because now gas is just getting kind of crazy. But
yeah, I think initially, obviously, if you know your work sort of flies off the shelf, then great. I think initially I've just found it really helpful just to know that, you know, people are interested in that piece. So if you don't mint it and then it's just sat there, so you know that, that, you know, once you've minted it, hopefully somebody's interested in it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just looking at this. I can guess what some of your I can guess what some of your inspirations are, like, but outside of sci-fi, like when did you get started creating, and like, was there something in particular that made you feel like, oh, like I have to do this, like I can't help myself, I need to make art?
Yeah, well, I've always done it. Even as a, you know, tiny child, I was just drawing, mostly hand drawing or watercolors when I was a teenager. But I found it sort of a really nice escape. I always have. When I was younger, I was a lot of pencil drawings, but always characters. So I was always drawing much more realistic, actually. When I was younger, I used to do, you know, almost like photoreal drawings. And now I'm older, it's more about sort of capturing. This is obviously very playful with Ed 209. But yeah, just capturing more quickly with less lines, really, that vision, playful vision in my head. And yeah, obviously Ed 209 as a lollipop there. You'll see in some of my sort of earlier things that I was minting, but I was heavily into Mandalorian, and that was creating a lot of as well.
You just reminded me of where is this piece? The piece, I'm gonna find that with Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, I love that one.
Known Origin.
Oh, it's on Known Origin. Okay, cool. Yeah, everybody must see that. I love E.T. and Baby Yoda, who I know his name's not Baby Yoda, but I will always call him that. Why is this not? Excuse me, everybody. Here we go. Yeah, I favorited it. You can see. Thank you for your patience with my slow loading time today. I'm not sure what's going on, but
oh, it's super zoomed.
Super zoomed. Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, his expression is so sweet. Hold on, let's.
Yeah, so that's obviously a bit of a mashup between Mandalorian and E.T. Yeah, that was just at the finale. Could have been a better ending in my mind if it had got on a BMX and
Yeah, I love this like subtle animation. I'm gonna zoom in a little, so you might not be able to see it, but it's like in the sky, speaking to the viewers here. It's really cool. Yeah, it just gives it, and like the zeros and ones in the background too.
Yeah,
it's really cool. I love the texture.
Yeah.
So you had mentioned to me that you were accepted on Bitsky, but you haven't dropped anything there, and you're Unknown Origin and Foundation, and of course Rarible and Open Space, and that you said you almost applied to Super Rare, but you just haven't mustered the courage for the video, which I haven't applied for the same reason.
I think I'm a bit too shy to do a self promo as well. So as you can see here, I'm quite shy, but to do it just to a camera with no one on the other side of it, it's quite a task. So I'll build up the courage one day, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that you do, because it seems like that platform, it's very good in like just getting an artist's name out there, but it's really difficult to create a video for yourself that feels like what's the word, authentic and natural, and like and I guess like being awkward is like sometimes part of being authentic, and it's okay, but there's something about doing a video of yourself and like trying to be like, hey, pick me, like I don't know.
As well, so.
But I guess if you're an artist, like if you don't vouch for yourself, then who will?
Yeah, definitely.
It's like really hard.
I will do it. I will.
This piece is really touching to me. Do you want to talk about like what the inspiration was behind this one?
Yeah, it was really. I was sort of in a space at the time, but the piece was around really just sort of isolation and sort of unexpected kindness, really. Obviously, Dr. Manhattan, I know he's obviously a bit more toned in reality, but yeah, that was my sort of spin on Dr. Manhattan sitting on the moon by himself. Looking quite sad there, and it was based on an emotion, but the sort of unexpected kindness, because you wouldn't expect someone to turn up behind you and give you a pat on the shoulder and cheer you up.
Yeah, like I want to hug him. The expression, even though it's just two eyes, it's like the body and everything. I'm like, oh, let's give him a hug.
Really what I try to do with all the scenes and the characters, just try and show an emotion or a feeling, or whether it's fun or whether it's sad, but just try and capture a feeling and hopefully spark some emotions in people's minds as well.
Yeah, and I wanted to pull up the first piece that you oh no, not there. This piece. This was the first one that you minted, right?
Yeah, that took weeks. It's in individual.
There's so much. Yeah, there's a lot going on. Like every time I look at it, I find something else. But for those who can't read what it says, the future of finance is delicious. Farm stake earned by stake earned by. Actually, you can't read that. Something. Do your own research. Oh, this is not financial advice. Do your own research. You could look it up. Buy food token. You earn food token. So
I was sort of learning about all this staking and things in DeFi and crypto and the big conferences they have. So yeah, it's obviously just a little bit of a joke, but and then there was some sort of popular. Twitter celebrities of the crypto community hidden in the crowd there. So it was just quite a playful piece, and it took a long time, a lot of research as well, because obviously I wasn't that familiar with all the topics. So
was like, I'm gonna have to take a closer look at this and see if I can find the Easter eggs of the different.
Yeah, I'll send you a lot of people were getting involved with the hunt. I'll send you what the sort of the thread, but yeah, there was sort of thousands of impressions on that one. A lot of people get involved in trying to find the celebrities.
That's really cool. So with this one, was it like a kind of game that you had? Like you didn't tell people what was going on; they just had to kind of go in and guess?
See if you can find everyone, and then I gave them away. It was just sort of my introduction into the space, and my sort of only giveaway. But since then, I haven't done them because I kind of felt that as soon as you've sold something, you can't really start giving things away. So yeah, that was my first thing.
Yeah, that might make the buyers a little feel a little left out.
Someone else got one for free.
So you had mentioned that you also started your own collection of NFTs in this time, and I can see that you have a lot of different tastes.
It's a real mix, and different reasons for each purchase, really. Some of them is what I call collectibles, and others are art. So and generative art, as you can see the piece in the middle there, the sleepy alien, which is a really sort of beautiful take on punks, I guess. They were all the one on the left there. I sort of really liked the style. So yeah, it's such a mix, and I think I loved the style. That's sort of a new collection on OpenSea. There's quite a few different. They're called giant punks. I just love the drawing style. So yeah, everything I picked up was for different reasons, and some of them, obviously you can see the puppets there with the Pepe, and everything's different.
You have some kind of, so I guess I was going to ask, like, what is your like thought process with buying and investing, but it sounds like it's different depending on what the piece is.
Just random. I see things come up, and if I look at it, it makes me smile, and I can afford it, then I'll buy it. There's Out of a Star there. I was sort of scrolling for days looking at those until I saw one that I just really liked the look of it with the steampunk glasses on, and took that one.
Yeah, our very own Whale Shark has the steampunk glasses on his Avastar, which is like a rare thing. So you got lucky getting that one too.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I mean, obviously, when looking like that, and you can see I've got some first editions as well, and it's just hopefully one day.
I like this.
Right. Yeah.
This lasagna wood.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And then there's more artworks.
Wow.
You can see towards the bottom there. First thing I picked up was the Freddie.
Yeah. Which of your NFTs is your favorite? I might be partial to this one because I really love Queen. So.
I think. What if somebody's listening? I can't say which one I like best, but I think I've said a lot. I do like the man and bird. If you scroll up a little bit, there you go. A man and a bird. If you open that one up on the far right, that's that.
If the internet will only cooperate, you might have to only look at the mini version of that right now. But sorry, who?
Daniela Doodle's on as well, haven't you? So
I don't know. This is here we go. Man in a Bowler Hat by Renee Magritte. But it's not. Who actually? Makeful is the artist.
And cool. It was Daniela Doodles did it as well.
Oh, I was like Makeful. I don't know. And her style, we also spoke with her too. She's great.
I saw it, and they collaborated. So so it's just great. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
And the piece I've got by Anna Hoy as well. I love her work. It's you just scroll down one like that. Yeah.
Right here.
Hamlet
this
from Hell. Yeah, I love it. It's so sort of bold, the style. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
She's a tattoo artist as well, and I said to her before, like, obviously when all COVID's over, I'd just love to have one of her tattoos. It'd be amazing.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Her work is really fun. Yeah. I don't have a tattoo yet. We have a. Oh, sorry.
Carry on.
Sorry, I was gonna. No. Go ahead.
You're gonna tell me about tattoos. Go on.
It's just that in the whale community, we have a role called Whale at 50. That when whale hits $50, everyone's gonna get a whale tattoo. It's not, or a whale-related tattoo. It's not like everybody has to have the same tattoo. But I was like, ooh, and ahoy, maybe I'll have her do my whale tattoo when the time comes.
Yeah.
Sorry, so you were going to point out.
Oh yeah, if you scroll to the top, one of the last things I bought. Okay, there. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that was my cheap punk. Blocks of colour punk. But I was going to talk about the one just to the right of that one, please. Yeah, the bus stop story.
Sorry, it has to go to space first.
Yeah, so I absolutely love it's Alexandra Her, and I love her work. She's just such a good storyteller. That the artworks and each artwork has sort of a little story, but it's fantastic.
Yeah, I was just getting lost in this one, looking at the different details in it. Yeah,
so much in it. It's I love it.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So I guess it'd be a good time to open up questions to our group because we're around 37 minutes.
I've got something to show you as well. I've got a few things to show you, but let's do that.
Actually, yeah, why not? Actually, it would be good to pull up. Yeah, you were saying you have some upcoming work that you'd like to share. I'm excited to see.
There's a couple of things in the background. One of them is there's a collaboration of 60 artists that I'm working on. It's sort of headed by Mighty Moose, and that's going to go on Async Art. Can't tell you more; it's a secret. But that's been a lot of fun. And then I'll just share my screen and just show you an artwork that I've been working on that I'm gonna release soon. Hopefully you can see my screen. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so this is something that I've been working on. A little bit different, obviously. It's sort of quite a bit more pastel, but hand drawing, sci-fi scene. Really inspired by kids. Screen time. You can see these two boys. It's actually the same boy, different times of the day, but pretty glued to the screen during screen time. You could have an invasion of giant squid, and there's no way they're going to take their eyes off the screen. So just finishing this artwork off. As you can see, I'm just playing around with a bit of animation in the background. Maybe a day or two, and that one will be ready. And then the other thing is Defaced does a draw my character contest. There's another one running at the moment. This was the last time I took part, so he's got obviously his very sort of strong style, but it gives people the opportunity to have a go at putting their own spin on the artwork and in their style. And I take part. It's just a great brief, and it's just amazing to see what all the other artists come up with. So I think we've got about a week and a half. It's not this one. This was my last attempt. So sorry, I'll come back to you now. That I just
no. I was like no, put it back. People were just saying it's so beautiful. Yeah, bring it back. Sorry, I was like wait no. The squid piece is like so cool and like such a statement on just our minds being like sucked into our own lives, into our phone and stuff. But We wouldn't even know that there was a squid invasion happening right outside of our window. But I see you're working on animating it too, and
it's not finished. Just starting to play around, and I just need to go back to it just to try and make them look a bit more, natural, hovering outside there. But yeah, just subtle anyway. I don't want to do anything too bold on this one. It's just sort of, just a subtle hint of movement.
Yeah, I like that ambient animation too, because sometimes it can get distracting, or it just like becomes about the movement and not the subject itself.
Not every artwork needs animating. Sometimes I just take a view and just say, well, the story's there, and like I say, it can be too distracting. Sometimes it adds to the artwork, sometimes it takes away. So yeah, just experimenting at this stage, and yeah, it'll either be very subtle or not at all. I'm just playing around with it at the moment.
Yeah, I was sorry. So I was going to ask, like, do you have a timeline on when this piece is going to drop, or are you kind of waiting to see?
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it over the weekend. So yeah, I'll probably share a teaser, and like I say, see how it's going, see if people think it's looking nice, and then obviously if I get positive feedback, then I'll probably be looking sometime over the weekend to mint it on Known Origin.
Okay, so keep your ears to the ground for this one. It's going to be on Known Origin. Somebody, there's been a couple of comments in our Discord chat. Someone was saying the talent and the range that you have is amazing. And someone was asking if you do tattoos.
I would design them. I know I certainly can't apply them. But, I could. It's really interesting, actually. I try and do designs for myself. I haven't. I've only got one, but I am planning on getting more when things improve and I can go out. So yeah, I'd love to design.
So we've got another artist in the running for whale tattoos. Okay. Yeah, so so you were saying, so that's what you can't really talk much about, is that you're taking part in Layer Breaker there's a collaboration with about 60 artists on Async, and that's led by Mighty Moose. Is there anything you can say on that?
No, I'd love to, but no, we've been sworn to secrecy. So, but yeah, it's looking great, and just be exciting to be part of a big project and working with other people. It's great.
One of the other questions they were asking, what do you have a tattoo of? A tattoo of what? You don't have to answer that question. A dragon! Oh, that's awesome. I don't have any tattoos. I just admire them from afar and can't think of what I wouldn't get tired of.
Yeah, it's such a big decision.
Yeah. So, well, I guess those are all of our questions.
There's a question there.
Oh, there's a question? Hold on. They said, can he say what his largest sale ever was for? These feel like masterpieces. So they wanted to know what was your biggest sale.
Biggest sale was, do you know the one that had the bike on it? The two children running into the concrete pillar. That's actually a seascape. Yeah.
I'll pull that up in a second.
Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. So for me, it was fantastic. Somebody bought it. I think it was about $680, but that's incredible. I know probably people getting into NFTs, they see people selling $2,000 plus, but for me, it's the fact that somebody's picked it up, and that's a lot of money. That makes a big difference. That was great. So I think probably it's not what you call big money, but it's big, definitely big for me. That was great.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, the sort of real proud moment with the Explorer, the child in the spaceship. that sold really quickly, and then pretty much instantly one of the people that bought it, they got a secondary market bid for 3 times what they just bought it for, which, you know, that's what you want. You want people to be able to pick up your work at a fair price and work hard and make sure that the secondary market sort of leads the way, really. If people
Right.
can start working more on the secondary market, then, you know, they've made a good investment. And, you know, over time, I'll keep working, it'll keep rising. That's the plan.
Yeah, and I mean, it benefits you ultimately if it resells. You know, it's like, well, you made the initial sale and the commission in perpetuity forever. So
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I think one of the things that I totally do it. I love it, and I love people picking up my work. But I think I've seen this even in this short space of time. People come along and get frustrated because they're not selling. You see all these people selling for tens of thousands, and they're not selling that yet. But I don't get drawn into that. I just think it's amazing that somebody's prepared to pay, you know, hundreds of dollars. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think it's important, especially as a new artist in the space, like to not get hung up or discouraged by seeing other artists that are selling like their lowest priced piece is like 1 ETH or something. I mean, that's it's like a combination of luck and like who they've known already, and really you as an artist, like you have to focus on just the joy of creating it and sharing it, and I think the rest will follow.
Yeah, definitely, and just be consistent and keep going and always enjoy it, because if you ever start getting frustrated about money, I probably shouldn't be doing it. You know, I just enjoy it and enjoy engaging with people and getting the positive feedback. And if it comes, brilliant. I mean, obviously the dream would be if I could do this as a job and not have to go out to work doing other things every day, and spend more time with the kids, really. I'm sort of quite obviously envious when I see people have been able to make that leap. But I know that just takes a lot of time and a lot of effort to get to that point. You have to, you have to build and prove to people that, you know, you're going to be consistent and keep improving.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I see a bright future for you in the NFT space. I mean, your work is stunning and it's different, and like you play with different mediums, and it all looks, there's emotion and a story behind it that you know, people can connect to. And I mean, I just feel like it's just a matter of time, you know, like just
that means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not one of those artists, so, but like, so my opinion's whatever, but I feel like, you know, it's just, you're being consistent, and your work stands on its own. And I mean, there are artists in this space that have been doing it for a year or two and making more money than some people have in entire, like, multiple decade careers as an artist. So, you know, there's something about the way that this space works that I think it gives artists more opportunity to maybe eventually take that leap. It just takes a little bit of time and patience and persistence.
It's definitely an incredible platform to reach people. That, like I say, you just feel like everything's accelerated because you can reach people in a way that you can't outside. It really presents a lot of great opportunities, and I've seen it. I've seen it too. People, even the people, you know, the artists that I was following from day one 3 months ago, just to see them take off, it's been incredible, really, to see sort of how they transform their lives. It's really takes your breath away seeing it.
Yeah. So it gives you hope, like, you know, that there's multiple levels of like what success can look like. You know, it's not like everything has to be, you know, this like $1 million sale or something.
No. I feel successful. People have bought my work. It's you know, that means a great deal, and I feel like I'm proud of where it's going. It's great.
One of the other questions that we had was, what has your experience been like minting on multiple platforms, and do you have a preference that you would recommend?
Yeah, I think obviously foundation is very expensive, because foundation you have to pay the fee to mint, and then the fee to list. So I've minted on foundation and sort of paid 300 in gas. So I think generally on foundation you've obviously got to be looking at quite high prices if you want to get some money for the art as well, and not just cover the gas. So that sort of sets a standard, because they're all one of one. So whereas if on known origin, as long as you're not doing an auction, if you're doing a fixed price, then you might be able to mint for, I don't know, 80 or 120 on a multiple edition. So if I do an edition of 3, one might pay the gas and then the 2 others are paying for the art. It sort of makes a bit more sense, but from a financial point of view it makes more sense. But it's good to spread out, because different collectors use different platforms. So some collectors might not go to known origin, so it's good to have some work on foundation as well. And the learning curve is auctions. So if you're going to do an auction, you need to know that it's going to go high enough to cover your gas.
Yeah. I mean, as someone who is still building their NFT collection, I wish that with auctions they would at least tell you what the reserve price is, because otherwise we're all wasting money on gas on the bid. Like, just tell me what you want, I'll give it to you. I want this piece.
That's a good thing on foundation. There is a reserve, so you can make sure that you've got your gas covered. But from a buying experience as well, obviously it costs money to bid, and that was something I was looking at. And I said earlier this week on Twitter that my next piece will be a fixed price, because obviously my experience of bidding and it's an expense for a collector as well. So
and an expense for the artist. Like I didn't realize that the artist is paying more to have auction style sale versus you have to pay on some platforms. You have to pay to accept the bid. On known origin you do, so you pay to list and then pay to accept the bid if it's not a fixed price. Or on foundation you pay the 2 fees up front. So fixed price works well. It's just hard to price your art. So you don't want to put it too high, you don't want to put it too low. Yeah. And I mean, like, just as a note for artists that are starting out and don't really, have that much money to invest in gas fees, there's always OpenSea, but the issue with OpenSea is that everybody's there and you're kind of like just this little cog in a wheel with all these other people minting.
I've got an OpenSea store, and I like you say, it's the one-off gas fee, so I probably paid $25 or something to then infinitely
much more affordable.
But OpenSea is such a mix of it's not just art. It's
not really like curated.
So I think if you've got an OpenSea store, that this is just a personal thing, but you have to really drive the traffic through Twitter. With the links, and so because it's not an easy place to browse. So that can happen. I've seen people really successful on OpenSea. So drive the traffic through Twitter.
Speaking of driving traffic through Twitter, there's another question. We kind of talked about this earlier, but they asked, how would you shill your works in a way that you don't focus more on shilling than creating?
Okay. I must admit, I've stopped putting things in those threads. You see all the threads saying show your work, and I've stopped doing that. I think the one of the big I've had a lot of good feedback about it, and that is sharing the working process. It gets people sort of more connected with that particular piece, but it just shows how busy I am, really. I am doing things every day, and really, everything's out in the open, and I find that people sort of really get engaged with that, and interested in how you do it. Everybody works differently, and my working process shots, they're not pretty, but it's honest. That's how the pieces come together. And
I think like what you were saying earlier, in terms of that question is like sharing the process on Twitter, connecting with people, following other artists. I guess like trying to find a way not to focus too much on the sale and like enjoy what other people are doing in the process too. Like just get inspired by other art. Yeah.
Really engage. Yeah, I do a lot of, I comment on other people's work. I share other people's work. It's just a love for art, really. Certainly not in it just to sell my things. And I think just getting really well sort of into the community and enjoy being part of the community. And I think that's probably helped, get more followers and get into discussions with collectors and other artists.
Yeah, like as you were mentioning earlier, this is one of those spaces where it feels like so many people are accessible that weren't before, like artists that you admire or who are, maybe at another level in the NFT space. People are really generous with their knowledge and experience, it seems like.
Yeah, there's so many kind people. It's really really incredible, like I say, and getting positive feedback of people that you wouldn't even think you could talk to. It's great if you reach out.
Yeah, totally. So it's been really great having you here. And just to recap, keep an ear to the ground for his most upcoming drop on Known Origin this weekend. And also for the collaboration with Mighty Moose and 60 other artists on Async, which is top secret for now, but I'm really excited to see what comes out of that collaboration. And of course, feel free to come into our Discord and connect with our community and share what you're up to, any works in progress. We love to keep up with the artists that we have on Artist Fireside Chat. So yeah, thank you, Lucclop.
Really appreciate you inviting me. It was really, really nice surprise, and yeah, thank you for liking my work.
Of course. Thank you for your time. All right, wishing you all a magical day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.